Now this is going to be a crazy video, but I want you to listen carefully because what I'm going to say, although I'm going to try to be a little dramatic, is so important here. There is a great movie, and it's an older movie. It's called Deceived, with the late John Hurd and Goldie Hawn. And in that movie, my wife and I saw it at the movie theater many years ago, and we've since then bought it, and we've seen it a bunch of times, or I've seen it a bunch of times. John Hurd plays the part of a man who is truly insane. And I don't want to go into the whole thing, but I'm sure you can go on YouTube, and maybe you can even find this scene that I'm talking about here. But he plays the part of a guy who's crazy, but let's just say that very few people know that he's crazy. And then when his wife, who's played by Goldie Hawn, finds out about it, and at the end of the movie where he's trying to kill her, there's a line, and the way he does it is just so brilliant. He's getting ready to kill her, which he doesn't, by the way. I won't tell you what happens, but I will say that he doesn't kill her. And he just says these words. He says, "I always do whatever comes next." And he's like foaming at the mouth. He's just crazy. He's insane. And he goes, "No matter how difficult it is, I always do it. I always do whatever comes next. No matter how difficult it is, I always do it. Whatever comes next." Oh, it's just such brilliant. It's just so brilliant. He's foaming at the mouth. He's crazy. He's getting ready to, he just killed his mother in a few scenes before that. And now he's getting ready to kill his wife because she found out that he is insane. And, but you know what? That scene means so much to me because being an entrepreneur is like running around in the dark looking for a light switch. You know, you're in a dark room looking for a light switch. Albert Einstein said that the greatest secret of his success is that he was constantly groping. And that was a word that I only knew about groping, where you grope women. I didn't know what groping really meant. But you're always reaching. You're reaching, and you're letting your reach exceed your grasp. And there is that level of confusion and frustration, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but it is worthwhile. And you're always just doing whatever comes next, and you go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you can see even farther. So, really quick here, I'm working on a project right now. It's a big, massive project, and I've been. It's summertime, so I take my dog to the park every morning. He just loves it. It's the highlight of his whole day. Big old Great Dane. And we go over to the park, and I bring a pad of paper with me. And I've been working on this thing every morning now, for the last 6 weeks. Just working on the whole thing, and then I've been talking to my joint venture business partner about it and getting some ideas from him. And thinking, and every day I just try to take it a step or two further than I took it the day before. I'm looking for that one big breakthrough that I didn't have the day before. And I am convinced that what's happening here, because I've got a goal now. Oh, by the way, my whole goal fits on 17 characters. 17 characters. I could put it on I burned it into my brain, but I could, and I have it all written down a bunch of places. But 17 characters, my whole goal, my whole business plan, if you will, business plan that fits on a 5x7 index card. But I know exactly what I want, and every day I'm just getting a little bit closer. I'm getting a little bit closer, and I'm always doing whatever comes next, no matter how difficult it is. No. But it's a creative pursuit. It's the idea that starts the money. And in some ways, ideas are a dime a dozen because an idea has to be well implemented in order to be effective. An idea in and of itself is never going to make you any money. But it's the idea that starts the whole process, and then the willingness to keep moving forward. And every day I try to take it just a little bit further than I took it the day before. Now I've got some dates established, some timelines, and I didn't have that yesterday. That was my big breakthrough today. Is I put some dates on it, so that they say that a goal is just the difference between a goal and a wish is a goal has dates on it. There's a deadline that's established and all of that. Anyway, you're working on it, and some of my big breakthroughs I'm having right now, and this doesn't surprise me because I've been doing things like this for years. My biggest breakthroughs now are things that 6 weeks ago I would have said were so obvious. And yet I had to think it through from so many different angles. I had to consider so many different possibilities. And now I'm arriving at decisions where they're stronger and they're more clear. But again, 6 weeks ago, I would have just said, oh, well, that's just common sense or whatever. That's obvious. And yet there's nothing obvious about it. It's been a constant development. I've been looking at problems. I've been trying to anticipate every single problem. And this is a great idea here for those of you that will do what I'm suggesting. When you're all high on the idea, when you're super, super, super excited like I am about this massive project that I'm working on right now, that's the time not only to dream of all the good stuff and fantasize about all the great stuff, the amazing things that are going to happen, the difference it's going to make in your life and all of that, but I would also say now's the time to start looking at all the problems. Because you're high on the idea, you're super excited about it, but you try to solve all of the problems. You keep asking yourself, what are my biggest obstacles going to be? If this thing, so on one hand you're saying, look, in a perfect world, here's a great question for you, by the way. You say, in a perfect world, if I had godlike superpowers and I could just wave my wand and make anything happen, what would that look like? And so you come up with a broad overall goal, which I have now in 17 characters. And I don't want to tell you what they are because you wouldn't understand it anyway. But it's an overriding goal of what I want to achieve. And in 17 different characters, they're numbers, by the way. They're all numbers. None of them are words. But in 17 characters, I know exactly what I want and what I'm trying to accomplish. And I understand the whole dream behind it, and I'm fantasizing about all the amazing things that it's going to do for my life. But on the flip side, and this is the biggest thing, this is the problem that I used to have years ago. See, years ago I would stop right there. I would only fantasize about the good, the great things, the amazing things, the things I'm most excited about. Now I'm starting to look at all the things that can go wrong, and I'm starting to look at all the problems and how to overcome all of those problems. And I'm doing it while I'm very high on the idea. Because when I lose that emotional edge and I go from being so excited to now all of a sudden it's like the thrill is gone, that's the last time to start solving problems. You need to solve the problems when you're in a mindset of open possibilities. And look at problems as a challenge. Look at them as a positive thing. In fact, that's the word challenge. I looked it up. I've studied it. It just means, and this is short definition here, but it means a challenge is a problem, but it's a problem that you're eager to solve. And you're excited about solving it. You've got a good attitude about solving it. So take a page out of my playbook. Creativity does take work. The money starts with the idea. And work on your projects. Have a dream. Have a goal. Always have a goal. Always, 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 always be shooting for your goal. And keep that sense of mystery. What's next? Tomorrow, I'm going to hopefully come up with some ideas I didn't have today. I know I will. Because here's what happens. The creative process, all during the day, I'm really thinking about this thing subconsciously, so the ideas tomorrow are already working themselves out. Anyway, I've made this too long now. I'm going to stop, but I hope you've benefited from it. Thank you, and bye for now.